Welcome, Internet. Welcome, stream. Welcome back. We are back in 2020. My name is Khan. We'll cut the music. We are here for another episode of Shoot the Shit at 2020 edition. And for tonight, our show, we got to wrap up 2019 so we can move forward with 2020. But tonight's going to be a good show. Unfortunately, we do not have any guests for tonight, and we do not have our co-host, Two Beards, tonight. But tonight you get to hear all Khan. Oh, it's going to be wonderful, man. It will be wonderful, everybody. So the first thing, before we go into anything, and we look at our wrap-up, let me first say, Happy New Year, everybody. We are in 2020. We've made it. What a year. Man, I remember when I was a kid thinking about the year 2020. It's like, wow, I'm going to be this old. I wonder what's going to happen, how many children I'm going to have, what kind of job. Am I going to be married? When am I driving? What's my house? You know, used to take those paper fortune tellers as a kid. And you will always sit there and do that. Or you would do, what was that one game? Where you would choose if you get a house, a mansion, a shed. Yeah, and it was all based on you would give like 5 people. Like you would give like 5 people's names, right? So you will say like 5 people, but one of them always had to be bad, right? And you said a number, and the person would count down each of the number, right? So at the end, you would be like, you're going to live in a house, married to this person. You're going to have this job, drive this car. Those were the good old days when you were young and, you know, life doesn't kick in. Life doesn't kick in. And, yeah. You start getting slammed with bills and stress, work, family, supposed friends. Yeah, you know the ones. And and just life itself. And it's always good to think back, you know. I've been on this earth for a long time, at least what I consider long. There's been people who've been there longer, of course, but man, oh man, 2020. And as I stated in one of my tweets before, I was suspecting at this time we would have flying cars. It would be different, right? It will resemble something different than what I grew up in, right? You grow up in, let's say, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s. You will hope that 20 years from now, mankind, people itself, will make a leap forward to be different, right? You know, we have, right? I mean, let's look at some of this stuff. We're cloning. I mean, we clone sheeps and other stuff. I'm sure there's probably clone humans over in, you know, underground laboratories and stuff like that, but we're cloning. We've made things called like 3D printing. Think about this. 3D printing. It's not replication, but it's damn near close. We're 3D printing organs, folks. We're printing organs. Think about that. You have a heart attack, you have a weak heart. We 3D print you another one. A new lung, a new kidney. That's crazy. It's just mind-blowing from a technology standpoint. We're there. We're so close. We're so close. Now, I know everybody can't live forever, right? I know that. We understand that. There's reasons why you can't live forever. But you can live pretty damn long, right? We were 2-3 years ago talking about moving and settling on Mars. Mars, folks. In fact, by 2021, 2022, we were supposed to have the first establishments and settlements of Mars. Mars. Think about that, folks. A planet that's not our own, and we settle there. Maybe we could terraform it, you know, do some stuff. You know, science is crazy, but we're doing this. I posted an article in not the normal Discord, but in another Discord where scientists were able to first do the first quantum entanglement with computers. Think about this. We're moving to an age of quantum mechanics and quantum computing, right? And these computers are crazy, right? Like, you got to be in below like crazy degrees to allow these computers. Like, trust me, it's nowhere near to a point where we will put it in the household. But we got to a point right now where we can send information from one computer to another via quantum entanglement. Do you understand what this means? If you don't know, Google it, man. That means from a molecular structure, you're entangled, you're linked. Let me explain this for you. If I had a quarter and it was quantum entangled to another quarter, let's say in another galaxy, not even the Milky Way, just take a whole new galaxy. It was just somewhere else. You could flip a coin, and guess what? When it lands here, it's heads. You could bet 100% on the other side, millions and millions of light years away, the other side is tails, because they're quantum entangled. It goes past the speed of light, and we're sending information at this level now. This is mind-blowing. That's the beauty. We're progressing. But there's still a problem with all the great things that we're doing in this world, all the scientific, educational breakthroughs that we're performing, stuff that is just outside of discovering basically how the world ticks, just life itself. We're still stuck on stupid shit though. And that's what brings it down. This is what brings down my sadness for a lot of stuff. We're almost there. Those sci-fi movies, we're almost there, man. We're almost there. Imagine another decade, we may have FTL drives. Faster than light for those who aren't familiar. Faster than light drives that allow us, where you have solar systems that are millions of light years away, you can make jumps and get there in a fraction of that time. This is amazing. But we still have people shooting people in the streets, attacking churches, and nobody wants to talk about gun control because everybody's so worried about them taking away what they have. They don't care about the future. We're still, and I was talking to Two Beers about this. We're still fighting wars from the 1600s. Race, sex. Looking at people with brown and darker skin that's less than man. It's 2020. Why? Why is race an issue? Why? Why is sex an issue? Why does it hurt you so much that 2 men and 2 women go and get married? In 2020, why do you care? It goes against your religion? Well, let God judge it. You're not God. Let them judge it. Why do you care? You don't like to see it? So be it. It's life. This is life now. Things evolve, things have changed. Why? Why are we still warring? As a country, fuck the countries. As a planet, why are humans still at war? Why? Why are we dropping missile strikes? It doesn't make sense. Twitter's blowing up with jokes about, oh, I'm dancing and, oh, I'm not white and this, that, and the other. People acting the fool for World War III. It's not a joke, people. War is not a joke. It's not funny. This is scary shit. We're talking about droves and droves of our youth going out, fighting, and dying. Yes, folks, dying. Over what? What are we fighting for? Differences? Why? I'm hoping with this new decade, I'm hoping that people will wake up. Life's too short, folks. And the best thing we could do is leave it in a better place than what we found it in. That's the best thing. And I'm not trying to bring doom, because I'm telling you, we have advancements. Dude, it's crazy what we're doing. We're curing shit that we never even thought we could cure. They have procedures now. It's still in testing where they could cure AIDS. AIDS. This is crazy. Cancer, which takes, I can't point to a person whose family members or family, if not themselves, was not impacted by cancer. We're getting to a point now where we may be able to cure that, to prevent it, to isolate it, to make it something that you can live with or eliminate it. This is beautiful stuff. But we can't get held up by differences. When 61% of your funding goes towards military, over education, over evolution, science, it's nuts. Over arts. Yes, folks, arts are important. Over economy. These are sad things. These are sad things. We need to get past this, folks. We need to stop looking at each other as different. We're all humans. We all bleed. We all easily die, and we're all fragile. Emotional, spiritual, and physical. We're all weak. But we got to be better. We're almost there. Just think about this. And don't call me stupid. Don't make fun of stuff, but think about this for a moment. Everybody has a job that they do. You don't ever have to worry about food. You don't ever have to worry about medical. You don't ever have to worry about a house over your head. We're going out throughout the galaxy. We're exploring new planets, new solar systems, new everything. We're populating these planets, and we're colonizing different planets. You can have a planet called Aurora. My family was the first to colonize Aurora, and now it's its own entity. Imagine this. Imagine this. You go back to Earth. It's beautiful. There are no third worlds. Everything is at the height of what it could possibly be. And people are happy. And you want to know why people are happy? Because their needs are met. There's no need for me to be better than you. For me to show that I'm more successful than you. Because we're all equal. I know people call that communism and other stuff, and they don't like that. And I understand. Yes, people want to be able to change themselves and separate themselves. I'm not talking about taking away your identity of who you are. I'm just talking about being a well-oiled machine, where every person has a place. They're each a cog. Lives aren't wasted, and every life matters. That's all I'm talking about. I like to see that future. I don't believe I will. I don't believe I will. I believe that no matter how far we advance, the same issues that we've been fighting for since the 1600s and before, we're still fighting over the same issues, and I believe that we will. It could be another 40 years from now. I could have a foot in the grave, and I'll still see stupid stuff. Cops shooting minorities, gun violence. No one cares. Oh, how legislation, how Senate, how the government is pushing through what women can do and what they can't do with their bodies, making, abortions illegal. It's telling them the best way. It's still going to be there. But I'm hopeful that I'm wrong. I've been wrong on a lot of stuff. But I'm hopeful I'm wrong. I want to see the beauty of what we could truly become. And I know it's a full stream. I just want to see us. I want to see us in a different light. Maybe I've been just, I don't know. I got this fantasy from watching so many movies and TV shows of what man could be, But I hope that one day, we could get past this. I hope so. But we're not going to talk about the war. But before we do go into 2019, I do want to mention one thing. Has anybody seen the trailer for A Quiet Place Part 2? Wow. Quiet Place got up there. When we get into my review, unfortunately, I don't have the list for Two Beards. Maybe when he comes back, we'll get his. We'll go over his real quick. But what we can do is, movie of the decade, it was up there. It was very close. It was hard to make a choice of it. But this part 2 looks good. I can't wait for A Quiet Place 2 in March. I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it'll be a fun time in the movie. A fun time. Even that changes. Think about that, folks. You stream movies on your phone. It's just nuts. We've come so far. Let's not ruin it. Let's not continue to ruin it because of differences. All right. Let's liven up the mood a little bit, folks. Let's get into, we are at the end of a decade. We are now in 2020, the start of a new decade. So we got to take a look at some things. What was some of the best things to happen this decade? And because, I like gaming, we're going to start off with gaming. There was a lot of good games that came out. A lot of good games this decade. And a few of them were high on the list. Part of me would like to, if I was not a hater of this series, it's not so much a hater of the series. I'm not really a hater. I'm just to a point where I don't care for it no more. But Grand Theft Auto, that's a strong contender for Game of the Decade, right? Grand Theft Auto is just nuts, dude. But for me, that's not Game of the Decade. For others, so let me first say this. Let me lay down the rules before I give you my choice, right? This is clearly an opinion, right? All things are subjective. Video games, movies, all that stuff, it's all art. And all art is subjective. So there's going to be a lot of people that agree. Actually, there'll probably be a small amount of people that agree, and there'll probably be a lot more people that disagree. But in order for me to judge it, I have to, one, have seen or played it. So if it's a game I've never played before, like, let's say, God of War on the PlayStation 5, the new one, then I can't judge it, right? So a lot of your favorites that you may say, hey, it's a better game, might be because I never played it. I never got a chance to. So my opinions, of course, could change. But back to games. There was a lot of good games that came out. A lot of trashy ones, but a lot of good games. I'm sure Last of Us would probably have been on a lot of people's lists. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to play it. Not a big fan of the Uncharted series. I played it. I thought they were okay, but I'm not as big of a fan as everybody else was of Uncharted. Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider remake was good, but nowhere near what was needed for Game of the Year. So Grand Theft Auto will probably be on most of the people's lists for Game of the Decade. Sorry, not Game of the Year, Game of the Decade. But for me, Game of the Decade is Witcher 3. Oh, wait, folks. Witcher 3, yes. Witcher 3 was one of the best games that I played when it first came out. I think it was back in 2014, 2015, around there. Oh my goodness. And from such a small team, Project Red, they were able to make a game with such great quality. Now, don't get me wrong. Witcher 3 has some issues with, there was so many candles, so when you want to interact with stuff, you always would have a problem with interacting with the candles. But I mean, that game was almost flawless. It was good. From a storytelling perspective, from a character perspective, everything from The Witcher was just amazing. And I love that game. In fact, watching the Witcher TV show almost actually brought me back to wanting to go through the series again. And then it spawned Gwent, one of my favorite card games. I actually love Gwent until it became an actual card game. I don't know why. It's just, I think when it was just in The Witcher as an add-on, it was fun. But once it came out, it seemed like it was just one meta, one deck. That was it. I don't want to say that multiplayer kind of ruined it, but multiplayer kind of ruined it. But yes, for a game of the decade, I'm going with Witcher. Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. I know, it's crazy. But that's definitely my choice for game of the decade. And let me know below, for those who are watching it later on YouTube, for those who are watching it on Wooshka or on Spotify, or we just got the go on iTunes. Yes, on Apple iTunes. We are on Apple iTunes. Let me know. Send us a message. Let us know. You can always reach us via Twitter. That's always a great place. I'm always open. But yeah, let us know. And if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments below. What was your game of the decade? For me, it was Witcher 3. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know. And for those who are listening, just as a reminder, we do record this episode, Shoot the Shit, every Friday between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. Eastern. Come by, say hello, stop by and chat. Let us know what's happening. Be part of the show. And if you want to join in and join the discussion, let us know. Let me know. Just shoot me a message on Twitter, or jump in the Discord and let us know there. All right. So now that we've gone over the game of the decade, I guess the next thing we will definitely want to go through is we will want to look at and see what was the movie of the decade. This was a hard one. As I stated before, A Quiet Place was definitely up there. So I want to tell you two out of the three choices that I had. So these two are honorable mention. Quiet Place was definitely honorable mention. I thought it was a great movie. Krasinski, I think, did an excellent job, even with his wife. And from a standpoint, and I had some discussions with Two Beers about it, he has a different take on it. But from my standpoint of looking at it, there was only one real issue that I had. Usually, dumb people in movies really mess me up. But the only issue I really, really had was the beginning part. And I'm sorry, folks, if this is a spoiler, but if you're a parent and you're walking in an apocalyptic future, there's no reason that both parents should be in the front with all kids in the back. That really bothered me. It's just something I can't see. You have one parent in the front, one parent in the back, right? One to look at the kids, one to lead. And that's usually the route that you usually go. So that was probably the one gripe. But Quiet Place, I think is morphing into an awesome series. I would love to see spin-offs and more for Quiet Place, which we'll probably get depending on how well the sequel does. But definitely that was a honorable mention for me. The second honorable mention that I'm going to go with is and anybody who knows me will know why. It's because I love sci-fi, and that is Ex Machina. Ex Machina is okay. So the I think one of the reasons why I didn't choose Ex Machina is the reason is because Ex Machina is not something the genre or something that we haven't seen, right? Whether or not AI or machines could actually be human, do they have a soul? The normal stuff that we've been arguing and fighting over for a while in terms of trying to figure out whether or not it's possible. So if you have an AI, is it possible that they could be looked at as a person, right? Can they sell to that point? But I don't know why it did such a great job, and it starred two of the people from the Star Wars movie. So you had Admiral Hux from the Star Wars movie, and then you had Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaacs, and oh my gosh, I know his name. His name Hux. It's eluding me. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. It's going to come up to me. And then of course you had the woman who played in Tomb Raider. She played the android Vixander. I'm bad with names, folks. I apologize. But yeah, you had them, and it's basically a guy comes in as an intern to come in and look at a machine and then try to decide whether or not the robot is actually real. Is it human, or is it just a program? Right? Very, 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 very good movie. I would suggest anybody who has not seen it to definitely take a look at it. Ex Machina it stuck with me. And another honorable mention was I Am Mother. That doesn't really crack the list, but I like movies that stick with you, right? If I could watch a movie and I think about it, say like weeks after I'm still thinking about the movie, yeah, that's definitely going on the top of my list. So out of all those movies, those are definitely movies that stuck with me that I consistently think about, right? Now I know a lot of people would say, well, Khan, why didn't you have like a Marvel movie up there? You love all the Marvel movies. Yeah, you're right. I had to see Endgame and Infinity War, watch the movies at least 7-8 times each for each movie. I've done the Marvel marathons and all, but though, as much as as a comic book fan, as I love seeing all those characters out on the screen, they're not going to be my top movie for a decade. It's just not. So you ask, what is the top movie of the decade? Well, folks, for me, it was Get Out. Jordan Peele killed it. I love that movie, and it stuck with me. Like months after seeing that movie, it stuck with me. I couldn't get enough of it. Watching different people break down what they thought they saw, what their theories and so forth. That movie just stuck with me for so long, and it was so good. It was such a good movie. The acting was great, the directing was great, and it's just one of those one-of-a-kind ideas. And I remember when it first came out that Jordan Peele was going to be doing a horror movie about racism and dating, outside your race. I'm like, okay. But I don't look at Get Out as a horror movie. I do look at it as a thriller, but definitely not as a horror movie. I mean, I understand, but when I think of horror movies, I think of, like slashers and other kinds of scary things. But definitely my choice for movie of the decade is Get Out. Bravo. The Shoot the Shit award definitely goes to you, Jordan Peele. So now that we've done movie of the decade, let's look at actor of the decade. And no one is going to agree with me on this one. No one is, right? No one is going to agree with me on actor of the decade. Happy New Year to you, Tess. Welcome to the show. So, honorable mentions. And this is going to sound really weird, right? Honorable mentions, I have The Rock. Yes, The Rock. Yes, Dwayne Johnson. What? Wait, huh? Yes. Wait. Stick with me. And Dave Bautista. Wait, what? What? These are wrestlers. Con, these are wrestlers. These aren't people. Why aren't you putting up like Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio? Somebody with actual acting chops. Denzel Washington. Somebody with acting chops. I know. So the reason why I put up Dave Bautista up there originally, and I was thinking about going with Dave Bautista, was because mainly dude, from an acting career, right? If you've seen what this guy was when he first came out to what he did now, it's amazing. And the leaps and bounds of what he did to fix it, to do his craft and to fix his craft, amazing. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And he's only going to get better. Now, is he going to be Academy Award winning? Who knows? Probably not. But who knows? And the reason why I put Dwayne up there is because he's in everything, dude. He sells tickets. And no matter how much he just acts like Dwayne. let's be honest. He acts like Dwayne. He still puts people in the seats. But those are honorable mentions. But Batista, I wanted to really give it to him because he stepped his craft up. To a level that I can't even begin to tell you about. But my choice for actor of the decade is an actor who kind of just started making his way through the scene. And I hope to see a lot from him. And nobody's going to agree with this pick. Nobody is. But it's John Boyega. Yes, folks, we're giving it to John Finn Boyega. Check out his movies. This kid, he doesn't pick always the best movies, but my God, this dude can act. He is there, and I can't wait to see what else he brings into the new decade with. You heard it here first. I know nobody's going to agree with me. Nobody will. You're out of your mind. You're crazy, dude. You're crazy. But that's my choice. Now, musician of the decade, I was going to let Two Beards handle that. I'm not going to really give one. If I had to say a musician of the decade, I want to probably most likely go with probably Drake. I think Drake has had the most impact this decade. But the problem why I can't really give an answer for musician of the decade is because I really don't really listen to a lot of music this decade. I really don't. I listen to a lot of the older stuff, so it wouldn't be fair to give an opinion on that part. But if I had to make a choice, gun to the head, I definitely probably would say I would probably say it would probably be Drake. A close runner-up, probably Imagine Dragons. Not a bad choice on Boyega. I'm telling you, people are sleeping on this kid. You know, they've only seen a couple of things, but I'm telling you, just mark my words. Mark my words. So let's go past those and let's go to something I can talk about, which is the TV show of the decade. Whew. There were a lot of TV shows. Man, oh man. There were a lot of good TV shows. A lot of them got canceled. Thank you, Sci-Fi. You can't agree on Drake because you don't listen to him. I understand. That's fair. There's been a lot of TV shows that came out this decade. A lot of TV shows. And when I look at best TV show, I'm looking at it from a lot of angles, right? So part of me would have said at one point Vampire Diaries, right? This sounds weird. Why would you say Vampire Diaries? Season 1 and Season 2 of Vampire Diaries in terms of writing was damn near perfect. It's very rare I ever say that, but it was damn near perfect in terms of writing. And in Season 3 it fell off, and from there it's just been a train wreck. So scratch that, move it off. Honorable mention that I will give you on the list, The Walking Dead. Say what you will on what you want to say about The Walking Dead. Walking Dead is very impactful. Most people know what it is. Most people are familiar with it, the terms, everything. So you have to put Walking Dead on that list, right? You have to. You have to. It's that impactful. Everybody knows Walking Dead. But it didn't make my number one. It was close. It was very close. But definitely was not the show of the decade. Then you got new shows like Westworld. Then you got the CW shows, which we won't really count, but they were pretty darn good. But then you had the Marvel shows. Ooh, they were good. Netflix has so many good shows. So many good shows. But what is my number one? I'm sure you will already know. Because once I said Walking Dead, you should have known what the other one would have been. TV show of the decade goes to Fire and Ice. That's right, folks. Fire and Ice. Wait. Nobody knows what Fire and Ice is? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go by the TV show name, not the book name, because the books will never come out. Aha! Now you know. Game of Thrones, folks. Game of Thrones. Definitely the TV show of the year. And many people may have not liked the last two seasons of Game of Thrones, especially the last season. But you want to know something? Game of Thrones was revolutionary. Whenever you got a new show like The Witcher and everybody's saying, oh, are you the new Game of Thrones? It shows you the impact. Everybody and their mother was watching Game of Thrones. When you say Red Wedding, people knew what Game of Thrones was. And I think the best thing and the one thing that drew people in, even though it was so much politics of Game of Thrones, was the fact that you could follow a person like, oh, this guy's the main character. And then next minute, he's dead or she's dead. They killed off so many of your favorite characters. And it was heartbreaking. It impacted people. They didn't know what to do. The writing was good. The character development was good. The acting was phenomenal. Phenomenal. The music, you could play the theme, and I would say probably 98% of the people would probably know what you're talking about. So yeah, without a doubt, the best TV show of the decade. It goes to Game of Thrones. Now, folks, we're coming to the end of the show. It's a short show, and the reason why it's a short show is because I don't have two beers talking for 5 hours, like he likes to ramble. So we could knock off another 30 minutes of the show from him rambling, which is funny. But we have two categories, right? Let's go with the worst movie of the decade, right? That's a fun one. There was a lot of duds. A lot of duds. A lot of people did not like the new Terminator movie. A lot of people did not like yeah, he won't shut the fuck up. You're right. A lot of people did not like the new Star Wars movies. There was a lot of duds. I heard the Phoenix movie by X-Men was really, really bad. It might have been my worst movie of the decade, but I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. I can say not so much a runner-up, but may have been on the list for a lot of people. Age of Apocalypse, yeah, that was pretty horrible. Justice League, yeah, it was pretty bad. Suicide Squad, ooh, let's leave that alone. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. Oh, people didn't know that, but yeah, that hit the mark. That was this decade, folks. Yeah, thank you, Nick Cage, for that, for ruining one of my favorite comic book characters. But runner-up, and people are gonna be like, "Wow, really?" Yep, runner-up for this decade for worst movie. And you'll notice that a lot of these are comic book movies. Hey, a lot of them sucked. But the worst movie, definitely Green Lantern. Wow, what a stinker. And the sad thing is, parts of it's not that bad. There is some good redeeming qualities of Green Lantern. I know it's, what? There was some, when they were in space, there's a lot of parts of it that weren't trash, or you know? A lot of it was good. But man, oh man, was that a bad movie. Another runner-up, Stephen King's Into the Tall Grass on Netflix. Oh my goodness. That is like 2 hours of my life I will never get back. You want to talk about trash. That was utter trash. Utter trash. And you want to know what else was utter trash? The Bye Bye Man. Oh my goodness. Anyone who's ever seen that movie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry somebody hurt you. That movie was utter trash. But it's still honorable mention. When he's on, he's on. So Tess states in chat, when he's on, he's on. When he ain't, King is horrible. There you go. Talking about Stephen King. Now, I don't know if it was the story, but the book, the movie was atrocious. It was just horrible. Horrible. But yeah, those definitely horrible movies. And another one, comic book movie, Fantastic Four. Yeah, Fantastic Four. You know, the one where Doctor Doom goes into a beam on the planet and comes back and starts killing people with psychic powers. Yeah. Josh Trank. Yeah. That was bad. But we knew it was bad. It was a lot of reasons as to why that was bad. And Tess says in chat, I read King and sometimes the books and the movies do not sync. That is correct. That's correct. Even though, and this is a car, I'm going to put myself out there, even though I've never seen The Shining, and I know people go crazy, I know the book is totally different than what we saw in the movie, so that is correct. That's what I hear. I've never seen it, and I never read it, so I can't tell you. It was a lot different, but from what I remember from the book, the new one is very close to the book. It took a lot of things from the book. So, but back to crappy movies. Yeah, Fantastic Four, we knew it was going to be bad. So, folks, what is the worst movie of the decade? Khan's worst movie of the decade. The Shoot the Shit award for worst movie of the decade goes to Batman v Superman. I don't even know where to begin. People keep saying for Justice League release the Snyder Cut. No. I'm tired of every excuse for why a DC movie is horrible is because of the shitty editing, and that they had to release an unedited version for it to make sense. That makes no fucking sense to me. Right, simple to grab stories that people go watch and enjoy, and let's move. Because that movie was utter garbage. And I've seen the uncut version of it where it actually makes sense. You know, a lot of it makes sense. But it's still bad. It is so bad. It's like a person who doesn't understand the characters. And when I first saw that movie, I remember the first like 40 seconds when they're going over Bruce's, the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents that we've seen hundreds of times that I'm tired of seeing. But we see the intro, and then I remember like the bats came and rose Bruce up, and he's in the Jesus pose, and I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I can't do this. I can't. I can't. And I remember my wife is like, calm down. This is the first minute of the movie. Just calm down. It may get better. It didn't. It's sad when Sci-Fi does a better version of Doomsday than the full $250 million movie. When a TV show does a better adaptation, look, feel of Doomsday than your movie does. Doomsday came from Zod? What? Huh? A mutated Zod? What? And I remember when I read some of these spoilers that came out before the movie, I was like, nah, that can't be right. That can't be right. Oh, no, it was right. That movie was trash. Utter trash. And you know what? It might be one of your favorite movies. That's fine. Just because I hate it doesn't mean that you can't love it. These are my opinions. But once again, let me know down below in chat. What are some of your opinions? What was the worst movie of the decade? Me, it has to go to Batman v Superman. And it saddens me to say that because I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I was so against Ben Affleck, but I love his Batman. I did not like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Hindsight, I thought that, no, I'm not even going to go into that. I'm not even going to talk about that person because that person goes into creep or loser of the decade, so I'm not even going to bring that person's name up. But we're going to go into it. The last category. And then we're going to go into some short, small categories too. And Tess states, I did love Affleck as Batman though. Yes, same here. Same here. So yes, Batman v Superman is definitely the worst movie of the decade, beating out Green Lantern and beating out so many other movies. All right, so now let's go with creep / loser of the decade. Oh my goodness, there was so many. So many. So many. What else? What can we do? It's like, yeah, I know. Drum roll. Let's just give the honorable mentions. Pills Cosby. You gotta put him on the list, right? R. Kelly. You gotta put him on the list. Weinstein. Oh, we just talked about him in the last show. That son of a bitch. Yes. Definitely on the list. Definitely on the list. The kid from the kid from Empire, Smollett. Yeah, you're on the list too, buddy. Creep, loser of the decade. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh man, thank you for reminding me. You know what? You might have it. I think Tess, you're right. Because you know what? The one person I picked does not match up to Zimmerman. I'm gonna call an audible. I'm gonna tell you right now. So you are correct. Zimmerman is the creep and loser of the decade. You're 100% correct. How did I forget this guy? So many of them. Yes, you are 100% correct. You are correct. I will definitely put him in there. Going to the president and vice presidents are easy picks, but yeah, those are easy picks. I'm not going to go with those, but originally I did have Dexter Morgan himself, Kevin Spacey, up there as my number one. Think about this with Kevin Spacey, right? Everybody that he molested that was going to come forward has died. And this motherfucker is releasing Frank Underwood videos, like he's Frank Underwood from House of Cards still, with the ones sitting there talking about kill them with kindness. Oh, you could go against the offensive against your enemies. But no, I choose instead to kill them with kindness. And then 2 days later, the third of the people who could put this motherfucker in jail somehow surprisingly dies. The third accuser just dies out of the blue. But no, you're correct. It was originally going to be that motherfucker, but no. Zimmerman wins it. Thank you, Art by Tess. Zimmerman definitely wins it. Anytime you kill a motherfucking kid in terms of staying your ground, that's motherfucking bullshit, and then you want to fucking turn around and sue his family? It's very rare that I ever talk about offing people, stuff like that, but my God, this guy. So we're going to take a real quick pause real quick. I got to really quickly stop the stream and start it. Let me 1 second. And we're back. But yes, definitely agree. Zimmerman is definitely our creep loser of the decade. Thank you very much, Tess, for that one. Art by Tess suggested it, and we have definitely, I have audible and changed that. So let's go over real quickly before we shut down the stream, because we are at the end of the show. We've been streaming for about over an hour. We like to keep this about at the hour mark. So real quickly, let's go over some real quick Horror movie genre, horror movie of the decade. I want to give to real quickly to Halloween. Don't need to say anything in terms of remakes. There was a lot of remakes and additions. Dude, Halloween definitely does it. Next thing I want to go with is director, real quickly, of the decade. Going once again to the movie of the decade winner, and that's Jordan Peele. Bravo to him, sir. Comes in, somebody new, kills it, knocks it out of the park. Where Us may have not been the greatest movie or up to par with Get Out, definitely up there in terms of great movies and directions. So yes, he definitely gets director of the decade. And so let's go over real quickly the other ones. So game of the decade was The Witcher 3. Movie of the decade was Get Out. Actor of the decade, which nobody will agree with me, is my gosh, I just saw it. Oh my gosh, my brain. John Boyega. My goodness, my brain goes. That's how it works, folks. It happens. I'm old. Musician of the decade, we were going to give to, I couldn't give a fair answer to, but I would say Drake for that. It just happens. I don't really listen to music of this decade, so I can't really give it to. TV show of the decade, gave to Game of Thrones. And Creep Loser of the decade, thanks to Art by Tess, we are now giving it to Mr. Zimmerman. And of course, the worst movie of the decade goes to Batman v Superman. So yes, folks, this is the we're coming to the wrap up to the end of the show. So let's look at 2020, right? So 2020 is starting. So what are some of the things that we hope to take by or hope to change for the show itself? So we're going to make some changes. So we're going to try to launch some new shows. Once again, I have a review show with my lovely wife, which we are way behind on in terms of reviewing. So we're going to definitely get those reviews, or we're going to definitely get those up. And once we get our flow, we'll probably do a live show, maybe on Wednesdays for that. Hello to wife. Yes, I will make sure to tell her that. So we will have that. So maybe every Wednesday and Friday we tape, we do a recording, and then all the other days are gaming and other stuff, or we may do other stuff. So we're going to do that. One of the shows that I'm also going to be kickstarting off is a conspiracy show. And this is where I look at and give my own conspiracies to things that are happening in this world that people like to ignore. Some of it may be true, some of it may not be. I may be able to prove some things, I may not be able to, but it will always be entertaining and interesting. And I'm looking for a co-host for that. Hopefully, if Payne has time, maybe we could get him on there. And then we also look at conspiracies within that have been brought up on various sites and so forth. We'll look into that and either debunk or prove some of those conspiracies. So that's definitely one of the shows I want to kick off. I'll probably come towards maybe 6 months out, the middle of the year. And then last but not least, so you have a web series coming between me and my brother, which I'm not going to give too much into. We're still in the planning stages for it. Some agreements, some disagreements in terms of how we're going to do it. But yes, we are still coming out with that show. And then from there for Shoot the Shit, which will continue on, we're going to see if we can get more guests, right? We want to get more and more guests, talk to more people. So, we'll see how that goes. And we'll try to get more people on to talk about different things. Do you really want that? Because I'm not going to hold back. It could lead people. Hey man, Pain. That's from Pain. That's fine, dude. Come out and speak your truth, brother. That's all I'm going to say. I give you a mic. Speak your truth. Say what you want to say. So a lot of it I may agree. I may disagree. Maybe I be right. Maybe wrong. Who knows? But I'll give you that time to speak your truth and say whatever you want to say to the people, whether they listen or not. So yes, sir. I definitely do want you. So we'll talk later because we'll test things out, see how it is, and we'll talk later about that. But so there's a couple of stuff coming out. more guests hopefully for Shoot the Shit. In fact, Two Beards, I believe, worked out our next guest. Hopefully we'll have them on the show by next week. We'll see. And then I myself will work on getting a few other guests too. But folks, this is the end of the show. We are definitely coming to the end of the show, and it is wonderful. It is wonderful. I don't have Two Beards. I miss him, but I don't have him to delay the show another hour with his rambles. But I do miss talking, having conversations with him. So hopefully by next week we could get everybody back on and we could get started. Otherwise, you'll be hearing me again, and I will be monologuing like I did in the beginning about thoughts of everything. And trust me, I love the monologue. I love to talk. But as always, folks, this is the end of the show. You could follow me, YouTube, Twitch, all those wonderful things. You can follow me at ARNGM. Although I think my Twitch is my Twitter is a little bit different. So let me take a look at it because I'm crazy. But yeah, I think it's a little bit different. Yeah, my Twitter is a little bit different because it wasn't available. I need to change it. It's at AARGM as Mary, N as Nancy. You can find me on Twitter there. But we always stream usually Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern on my Twitch. And then if you're watching on YouTube, you know what it is. Just hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to be updated for when we do videos. We're a little bit behind though. Real quick on our videos, just a little bit behind. I'll work towards it. We don't have an editor. Maybe I'll get an editor maybe this year. Who knows? We'll see. But right now I'm editing those videos and those audios. So typically I try to get it Monday. So what I want to do is we're about 2 episodes behind on the podcast portion. So I will get episode 3 and 4 done this weekend. I will get 3 out on Monday, and then this episode will be out available on podcast maybe a day or 2 later. And then we'll work on the YouTube videos, which I'm about 3 episodes behind. I think we only have 1 episode on our YouTube. Once again, folks, you can subscribe to us on Wooshka. You can subscribe to us on Spotify. And now you can subscribe to us on Apple iTunes. The only thing you have to look up is the KNOE. And for those who don't know, who are not in the know, that KNOE is KNOE. And that stands for Know Nothing, Opinion on Everything. KNOE. Just look it up on Spotify, Wooshka, and on iTunes. You will find us. You will find Shoot the Shit as well as our other shows. So definitely subscribe. Let us know. Keep up. And until I see or talk to all you beautiful people, stay safe. We still don't have an outro yet, unfortunately. We're working on it. We'll get one. But until then, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Tess, for stopping by. Thank you, Payne, for stopping by. Thank you to all the people who are listening. Thank you to also the Two Beards. Thank you very much, sir. Get better. And yeah, until then, peace out, everybody.